The House of Reps summoned the Central Bank of Nigeria's Governor, Godwin Emefiele, over the Apex Bank's new policy on cash withdrawals. Now, this followed a motion of urgent public importance moved by a member of the House, Aliyu Magaji, at the plenary on Thursday. Well, on Tuesday, December the 6th, the Central Bank of Nigeria issued a new directive to banks and other financial institutions to reduce cash transactions in the country. Well, controversies continue to trail the planned policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria to limit cash withdrawals for individuals at 100,000 naira and corporate bodies to 500,000 naira weekly. Now, joining me via Zoom is an investment banker, financial analyst, and economist, Nemeka Obiareri, to give us his perspective on this issue. Good to have you on the show this evening. So, Nemeka, if the central bank is limiting cash withdrawals by individuals to 100,000 naira weekly, what do you think are the likely implications of this move?
Okay, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Please go ahead.
Okay, good. I truly appreciate the steps by the Central Bank of Nigeria, to provide a limit to cash transactions within the system. When I listen and read some of the sentimental lamentations of most Nigerians, I find it very amusing. I will explain why. Daily limit withdrawal of 20,000 naira for individuals, weekly for 100,000. Listening to people and commentators, you will assume that the CBN was out to cripple economic activities in Nigeria. But the realities and the numbers do not support such lamentations. I will explain. Based on the records and the reports of the MPS, over 133 million Nigerians out of a population of about 210 million live under multidimensional poverty. What it simply means that most of these guys do not even earn up to 1,000 naira a day income. 176 million Nigerians, almost 92% of our population, do not earn up to 60,000 or more than naira in a month, which is roughly 2,000 naira in a day. By the records of the NDIC, 99.4% of Nigerians do not have up to 500,000 naira savings anywhere in their bank account in Nigeria. If you break it down, that simply means if the Central Bank of Nigeria should ask Nigerians within this population to begin to withdraw their monies in the bank, is it not what you own in the bank that you can be able to withdraw? 176 million Nigerians do not even make or earn up to 2,000 naira a day. And people are lamenting that CBN had put a limit of 20,000 naira withdrawal. A man that does not earn 2,000 naira a day. Why the worry and hula baloo about CBN pegging of 20,000 naira cash limit? Of course, there are several channels through which people can transact. And of course, it's actually available for the 0.6% of those that have savings that they can even withdraw. So the CBN policy is very apt. The limitations are there to encourage cashless banking. I made a position paper which is very, very clear. The Central Bank of Nigeria, if you look at today in Nigeria, we have over 124 million internet penetration and internet users. We have over 143 million Nigerians that have access to the GSM. If you look critically, in the Northwest, a region supposedly supposed to be where you have most of the out-of-school kids, we have over 27 million internet users. In the Northeast, about 17 million. In the Southeast, it's less. Do you know why it is less in the Southeast? Because most broadband providers go to Southeast and South. I will explain to you where we have less internet penetration and why the CBN should not be blamed. Most broadband providers, most telecommunication services providers, if you ask any of them, they find it more difficult to install their infrastructure within those regions. MTN, Airtel, Glo, 9Mobile have capacity to roll out data broadband and internet facilities and the telecommunication facilities across every nook and cranny of Nigeria. But what has been the hindrance? One, the activities of communities who will demand a hand and a leg, who will never give them right of way to lay their cables and to put their base stations. The issue of insecurity, the northeast and the northwest, most of this telecommunication infrastructure that will have guaranteed seamless internet, mobile banking are being disrupted by insurgents and bandits.
All right,
This is not within the purview of the central bank.
Let me quickly ask you this question.
The central bank, in their own wisdom, are doing what other people are doing in other developing economies. In Kenya, financial inclusion is about 84%. Nigerians should be thinking about how we can raise financial inclusion to about 95% before 2025. And what Emefiele and CBN has done will go a long way in helping us. We should support and encourage them.
All right, so let me quickly ask you this question, Obiariri, before we finally leave these discussions. Now, from Naira notes to redesigned to withdrawal limits. Now, the CBN is talking about, controlling the inflation in the country by this new policy. Do you think the CBN's tight control on money supply can address this inflationary trend?
Yes, it will address it. All over the world, monetary policy tools can only work when central banks can control the volumes of monies and cash in circulation within the system. It's an aberration. It's unheard of that out of the 3.2 trillion naira cash printed, only about 500 to 600 billion are in circulation. The 2.75 trillion outside the banking industry, I can bet you, are monies in the hand of the bad people, corrupt politicians, looters, kidnappers, and bandits. Some of the users of cash in Nigeria are the traders. If you go to Idumota, you go to Alaba, there is no honest trader that keeps cash for more than 1 week. As they're receiving the cash, they are paying it into the banking industry. As they're receiving the cash, they are buying dollar to enable them travel back to China to import. So most of the people that you see complaining are those who are ruining and destroying and distorting the microeconomic environment of Nigeria.
All right.
What Emefiele and CBN have done is to enable us control volumes of monies in circulation and enable the monetary policy tools to work effectively. And two, it will also help us to check security.
Apologies, because of time, we cannot continue any further. We appreciate your insights on the program this evening. Thank you very much to my guests, Nnameka Obiariri, Dennis Makri, and Justice Ojieno, for your insights on the program this evening. It's been a pleasure. And that's about it on the show tonight. Remember, you can follow the conversation on our social media platforms at TVC News NG or on our website at tvcnews.tv. I am Esther Mopariala, and until next week, bye for now.